presents Marvel vs. DC.
That is one thirsty teen. Michael B. Jordan is God's gift to women, and no one knows that better than this 18-year-old who thirsted after him so hard she broke a mouthpiece. Anyone who's seen Black Panther will remember the waterfall battle scene, not least because it's the first time we see Killmonger without a shirt. San Francisco teen Sophia Robb recalls this scene all too well, since the sight of that sexy bod had her clenching her teeth so hard her retainer snapped. Whoops. Rob went to see her orthodontist the next day to get it fixed and had to tell him what happened. The orthodontist found the story so amusing he put it up on Tumblr, and it took off from there. When Rob came across it on Twitter and realized it was about her, she fessed up online. It was the best decision ever. Pretty soon, none other than Michael B. Jordan himself got wind of Retainer Girl and offered to hook her up with a fancy new mouthpiece, hopefully made from vibranium, so it won't ever break. Guess it's safe to say Retainer Girl's life is made.
Avengers beats Star Wars for best opening weekend. Avengers Infinity War has had a huge opening weekend. The flick has pulled in over $257 million in North America and $640 million worldwide. This means it made even more than Star Wars The Force Awakens when it opened in December of 2015. Disney has been on quite the blockbuster roll. Black Panther also pulled in $202 million in its premiere weekend. Black Panther has already made $1.3 billion for Mickey and the Bunch. It looks like Infinity War could be joining the Black Panther very soon. As for which universe is better, superheroes or Star Wars, you decide.
Iron Man suit built by fanboy and dance instructor in Taiwan. 28-year-old Wu Yuting worked together with his friend Guo Wensheng to construct a replica of Tony Stark's Iron Man suit from the popular comic book and Marvel superhero films. It took the pair about 8 weeks to create the suit, which cost them the equivalent of about $164 in materials. The suit is mostly made of polyester putty, but also includes LED lights on the palms, chest, and helmet. Wu is a dance instructor in the city of Tainan, and he wears the suit in public to practice his dance moves. Pictured here, Wu breaks it down at the local train station for onlookers and passers-by. It's not every day you get to see Iron Man getting jiggy with it. This proves that the man really does make the suit.
In a world where nobody seems to be able to make a successful superhero movie, apart from Disney, 2 of Marvel's former B-list heroes will be at each other's throats just a few months after DC's former 2 A-list heroes were at each other's throats. Steve Rogers continues playing hide-and-seek with Bucky, his emo super soldier on-and-off BFF from World War II. Tony Stark is an Iron Man-sized boner for government regulation of superheroes. Which isn't a bad idea if you think about the implications of all this wanton destruction of property and reckless endangerment of human lives. And what is the Star-Spangled Man's response to this reasonable legislation? Superheroes don't kill people, people kill people. Backed by Iron Man, the US government decides to regulate these lethal sons of bitches, splitting the Avengers between the sensible ones and the dumbasses. Next May, get ready for 2016's biggest comic book showdown, which in all likeliness will turn into a superhero bro-down. Starring Robert Downey Jr. as the $40 million man, Scarlet Bosom son, Chris Evans' most patriotic jawline, and introducing Tom Holland as the eensy-weensy spider tween.
Marvel to discipline X-Men comic illustrator in Indonesia. On April 8th, Marvel Studios confirmed controversial issues surrounding a religious text YouTube would rather us not mention have been cited in a newly released comic, X-Men Gold. Marvel says they will proceed with penalties against one of their Indonesian pencilers, Ardian Syaf. Syaf subtly slipped his political views into the X-Men comic as his way of supporting anti-Ahok movements. The first is 212, referring to a mass demonstration in Jakarta on December 2nd to protest Ahok. The second number is written on Colossus's shirt in reference to the Holy Book's Al-Ma'idah 51 verse, which Ahok has complained about in one of his speeches. Marvel fans who've noticed the sneaky symbols in the comic are surprised and disappointed. To voice his displeasure, one Indonesian fan has gone so far as to pen a public letter addressed to Marvel Comics. In the middle of the chaos, Syaf now admits he intentionally snuck in his stance against Ahok in his artwork. He even screen captured a conversation with one of his fans on Facebook, revealing the reason he supports the anti-Awww movement is because he subscribes to a particular religion, the one YouTube doesn't want us to mention. No matter what his reasoning is, Psyoff did spread issues of intolerance throughout Marvel's work. His views are not reflective of the X-Men, minorities symbolized as mutants fighting for world peace. Marvel Comics will remove the controversial panel from X-Men Gold #1 in reprints, and Psyoff will incur his penalties soon. It's not clear what disciplinary action Marvel plans to dole out, but after such an unethical move, Psyoff may have already left a noticeable blemish on his career.
It's actually pretty good. Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Justice League's tanking box office take. DC's Justice League hit theaters last week, but only pulled in $281.5 million worldwide so far. The movie cost $300 million to make and reportedly even more to market, so it's got a ways to go before it'll be a financial success. Five-pronged tridents and Henry Cavill's fake CGI upper lip aside, the movie itself is actually a pretty good time. Unlike Marvel's latest movie, Dumb and Dumber, Muscles in Space, JL doesn't spend half the runtime with them fighting each other or forcing jokes. Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon absolutely nailed it. And yes, we know we absolutely trashed Batman vs. Superman last year, but that was genuinely bad. JL is anything but. Tom Hardy is getting jacked. Tom Hardy is putting in work for his role as the title character in Venom, Sony's new comic book movie based on the Spider-Man supervillain. The character was previously a villain in 2007's Spider-Man 3, where he was portrayed by Topher Grace. But going by a new viral video from Hardy's trainers, it sounds like his take on the character is going to be bigger, meaner, and badder. Reportedly, the Bane actor is training to become an 8'4" beast with 5 MMA and kickboxing sessions per week. The film won't feature Spider-Man, but may contain another villain from the web-slinger's rogue gallery. One of Hardy's trainers mentions the word Carnage in the video, and that could hint at the Marvel bad guy of the same name. The film is currently in production and is scheduled for release next fall.
A mixed-race Spider-Man might work for the comic books, but he'll remain as straight and white as a cocaine rail in Hollywood. Spider-Man's alter ego has traditionally been Peter Parker, but mixed-race character Miles Morales, who first donned the Spidey suit in 2011, will officially replace Pasty Parker as Spider-Man in Marvel's comics. Whoa, cool! I wonder who's going to play the Black Spider-Man for the new movie in 2017. Sony recently announced the lead actor would be none other than Tom Holland? What the f***? That's as white as they come. According to internal Sony emails released following the hack earlier this year, Spider-Man must remain white. In fact, he's contractually bound to be a straight Caucasian who remains a virgin until age 16. Many Spidey fans were disappointed when Danny Glover wasn't cast for the upcoming lead. What does Stan Lee think about all this? We originally made him white. I don't see any reason to change that, the creator of Spider-Man said. He added, I have no problem creating new homosexual superheroes.
Marvel's Doctor Strange accused of whitewashing to appease China. With the new Doctor Strange movie awaiting release, the film is dealing with some racial and political accusations of whitewashing one of its characters, a Tibetan sorcerer known as the Ancient One, played by Academy Award winner Tilda Swinton. On an April 17th podcast, Doctor Strange co-writer Robert Cargill said, quote, if you acknowledge that Tibet is a place and that he's Tibetan, you risk alienating 1 billion people who think that that's bullshit, and risk the Chinese government going, hey, you know one of the biggest film-watching countries in the world? We're not going to show your movie because you decided to get political. These accusations didn't go over very well, but the studio has responded by saying, quote, the Ancient One is a title that is not exclusively held by any one character, but rather a moniker passed down through time. And in this particular film, the embodiment is Celtic. It wouldn't be the first time Marvel characters have had skin tones change from the comics to the big screen. 2003's Daredevil saw the tubby, white mobster known as the Kingpin, played by African-American Michael Clark Duncan. And though S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Nick Fury was originally a Caucasian CIA badass, in 2002 Marvel altered his look in the comics to resemble that of Samuel L. Jackson, who has since played the character several times.
Superman may not really exist, but his look-alike does, and he lives in the Philippines. Herbert Chavez is the Guinness World Record holder for the largest collection of Superman memorabilia, but that wasn't enough. 36-year-old Chavez has endured 19 surgeries over 16 years to make himself look like the comic superhero as well. The surgeries included nose jobs, lip liposuction, skin lightening, jaw realignment, pectoral implants, and abdominal implants, which has so far only cost him about $7,000 as he gets surgeries for free in exchange for promoting his doctor's practice. Chavez says he has no regrets and that people are always excited to see a real-life Superman in the Philippines. Next, Chavez plans on undergoing a procedure to implant metal in his legs to make him taller. But with the recovery time involved in that, how will he get away when Kevin Spacey shows up with kryptonite?